Episode 7. Ren, for his part, activated his feline agility ability. His senses sharpened, the world around him became clearer, and sounds became distinct. His speed drastically increased, moving with a grace and quickness that far surpassed human capabilities. They were ready to give everything in this unlikely confrontation. To begin the test, Sofia released a quantity of aura that far exceeded Cesar's previous demonstration of power. The flaming energy rippled around her, intensifying the heat in the environment and putting Ren and Leo on maximum alert. Immediately afterward, Leo concentrated his power on the surrounding vegetation, growing two robust branches that twisted and took the shape of improvised swords. He and Ren each grabbed one, gripping them with determination. Ren, taking advantage of his feline agility, jumped and moved in erratic patterns, trying to surprise Sofia with his unpredictable speed. His movements lacked the refined technique of an experienced fighter, but were imbued with a survival instinct honed on the dangerous streets of Olympus City. As Ren approached, Leo made subtle movements with his fingers, concentrating on the nearby vegetation. Trying to go unnoticed amid the chaos, he waited for the right moment to intervene. When he saw Ren about to reach Sofia, Leo rapidly grew thick, resistant vines from nearby branches, launching them to try and immobilize Sofia and prevent any evasive movement. "Good timing," Sofia commented, observing the young men's coordination with a smile that denoted a certain approval. "But you lack experience and a powerful hit." In that instant, Sofia's aura intensified even further, breaking Leo's vines as if they were simple threads. With surprising speed, she caught Ren mid-leap, slamming him into the ground with brutal force. The impact left Ren nearly unconscious, groaning in pain. Immediately afterward, Sofia created a brilliant fire prison around Leo, trapping him without the possibility of escape. "I think that's it," Sofia declared, her tone suggesting the test had come to an end. "That's all." Cesar nodded, though with a degree of concern on his face. However, Ren, fighting through the pain and confusion, struggled to his feet, staggering. With a weak voice full of determination, he managed to say, "We did it." Sofia looked at him in surprise, her brow furrowed. "Why do you say that?" she asked, as her eyes stopped on a small but visible wound on her left arm. A thin line of dark red blood slowly dripped from a superficial cut, inflicted by Ren's wooden sword during his rapid initial attack. Incredulity was etched on her face. The kids had achieved the unthinkable. Cesar smiled with a mixture of pride and relief at the surprise on his sister's face. Sofia, with evident resignation but keeping her word, nodded toward Ren and Leo. "Well, little buddies, you passed the test." Hearing the confirmation, the tension left Ren and Leo's bodies, and both slumped to the ground, exhausted from the physical and mental effort of facing such overwhelming power. Cesar and Sofia carefully lifted them and carried them inside the building where the Lady of Fire had been residing, a place surprisingly clean and organized despite its exterior appearance. Once the young men were resting on worn but comfortable sofas, Cesar and Sofia went to the dining area for a more serious conversation. Cesar, in a graver tone than before, asked, "Why were the hounds looking for you, Sofia?" She sighed, resting her elbows on the table. "Because I was involved in planning the raid on the Moon faction shipment. I'm looking for a particular object, and I thought that cargo might contain it." Cesar nodded slowly, his face reflecting genuine concern. "Be careful with the Moon faction, sister," he said, his tone more serious and urgent than before. Sofia offered him a reassuring smile, though there was a glint of determination in her eyes. "Don't worry about me, little brother. Your big sister knows how to take care of herself." The initial tension relaxed slightly, giving way to a more personal conversation. Cesar and Sofia began catching up on their lives, sharing anecdotes and experiences from the years they had spent apart. There was an underlying fraternal affection in their words, despite their contrasting personalities. Cesar told her about the creation of the Aurora and his hope for the future, while Sofia recounted her own adventures and the reason behind her search for the mysterious object. The night advanced as the siblings, reunited by an unexpected encounter and shared danger, rebuilt their family bonds amidst the chaos of Olympus City. The group consisting of Cesar, Sofia, Ren, and Leo spent the night at the Lady of Fire's house, as they did not want to move the recruits in their weakened state from her test. The next day the group returned to the Aurora's base. Upon entering, the usual tranquility was interrupted by an air of expectation. In the center of the main hall, Adrian, Bruno, and Diana were gathered, hotly discussing a letter Adrian held in his hands. The letter, with the unmistakable seal of the Dawn Guild, announced an urgent meeting of the leaders of the different guilds in the city. The reason? To discuss the Moon faction's increasing activity and coordinate a joint response to maintain stability in Olympus City. Adrian, with a furrowed brow, seemed to be insisting on something, while Bruno gesticulated energetically and Diana listened attentively, offering occasional comments. Noticing the arrival of Cesar and his companions, the three cardinals stopped short, their expressions of worry giving way to surprise. The surprise intensified upon seeing Sofia behind them, her imposing presence and legendary reputation preceding her. "Welcome everyone!" exclaimed Bruno, his eyes wide, unable to hide his astonishment. Diana, always attentive to the needs of others, immediately approached, offering them water and something to eat. "You must be exhausted. Rest a little." Adrian, quickly recovering from the initial surprise, approached with a thoughtful look toward Sofia. "You arrived at the best time," he commented, his tone now charged with intriguing seriousness. The unexpected presence of the Lady of Fire could drastically change the dynamic of the situation they were discussing. Everyone needed a rest. After a silent and quick dinner, the young recruits retired to their rooms to sleep. The four cardinals remained in the main hall, their voices a low murmur. The Lady of Fire, a mysterious and powerful figure, joined the conversation. Together, they discussed the plans for the new guild, their voices resonating in the silence of the night. "I'm intrigued that the feared Lady of Fire agreed to join us, such a new guild," said Bruno, curiosity palpable in his voice. Adrian nodded, sharing the same doubt. "How did you convince her, Cesar?" Diana smiled, downplaying the matter. "That doesn't matter. What truly matters is that Sofia is here, and her presence is a great help to our guild." Sofia, however, responded with a more playful tone. "To be honest, the little buddies had something to do with it." Her voice changed, becoming serious. "But I'm also interested in knowing why the Moon faction is acting so carelessly now. Their attitude has seemed very strange to me." Upon hearing the faction's name, the four cardinals tensed simultaneously. A heavy silence filled the room. "Not just the Moon faction," Adrian added in a grave voice, breaking the silence. "The Dawn has also shown concern about them. Their behavior has been unpredictable in recent days." They all agreed that rest was the most important thing, as tomorrow would be a very busy day. Sofia announced her plan. She would begin training the new recruits, while the rest of the Cardinals would attend the emergency guild meeting, convened by the Dawn Guild. The future of the guild and Olympus City seemed uncertain, but the Lady of Fire and the Cardinals were prepared to face it. The next morning, the four Cardinals said goodbye to Ren, Leo, and the rest of the base. There was a tacit reassurance in knowing they had Sofia to guide and look after the recruits. Adrian, Bruno, Diana, and Cesar departed, each with their own responsibilities and the impending guild meeting in mind. In another part of Olympus City, in an underground bunker hidden beneath the remains of an old bank, Kael and Seraphina were immersed in a tense discussion. The cold light of a single bulb swung over a map table, illuminating their serious faces. They were deliberating on the precise moment to launch an attack on the Dawn Guild's headquarters, with the goal of recovering the crucial part of the shipment that had been intercepted. Seraphina, with her pragmatic nature, traced lines on the map with a gloved finger. "We need to be smart. A frontal assault would be a waste of resources. We need a plan that minimizes our losses and maximizes the chances of recovering the asset." Kael, on his part, slammed his fist on the table, his frustration palpable. "They humiliated us. They deserve to be wiped out for the insult they gave us. I want them to feel our fury." The scar on his face seemed to tighten. In the middle of their heated discussion, the bunker's reinforced steel door opened, and a mid-level executive, a level B from the Moon faction, hastily entered, visibly nervous. "Sirs, I have urgent news," he stammered, his voice tinged with apprehension. "The Hound Squad that was sent after the Lady of Fire, they were annihilated." The air in the room became dense. Kael instantly rose, his anger overflowing. "Why the hell did they send dogs after a Class S?" he roared, his voice echoing in the bunker upon hearing the details of the failed operation. His fury was not directed at the executive, but at the incompetence of those who gave the order. The executive swallowed hard before continuing. "Also, she was seen arriving at the facilities of a new guild. They call themselves the Aurora." Kael clenched his teeth, a growl escaping his throat. "More rats keep popping up." His gaze met Seraphina's, and they both knew the equation had just drastically changed. While Kael seethed with rage at the news, Seraphina maintained her composure, her mind already calculating the new factors. The appearance of the Lady of Fire in an unknown guild was a problem, but also an opportunity. "Calm down, Kael," Seraphina said, her voice sharp but effective. "Rage is a luxury we cannot afford now. Executives, contact our people in the Wind faction. I want all available information on this new guild, the Aurora. Their size, their exact location, their members, everything. And make it quick." As her subordinates dispersed to fulfill the order, Seraphina leaned over the map, meticulously adjusting the pieces of her strategy with unsettling precision. She traced new routes, marked infiltration points, and whispered instructions to the lieutenants surrounding her. The initial plans for the assault were being meticulously reconfigured. Suddenly, Seraphina's gaze fell upon a recent message that had arrived at the operations table: the guild leaders' convocation for a meeting to discuss the Moon faction's actions. A slow, somewhat fearsome smile spread across her face. "This will be the moment," she whispered, her eyes gleaming with calculated malevolence. While the city's guild leaders are meeting, believing they have control and that they can stop the Moon faction, they will eat their words. She straightened up, her eyes fixed on the map, where the police's headquarters was now the primary target. "We will attack with the infiltrated teams plus the modified semi-humans. No one will expect our audacity. They will believe we are on the defensive, when in reality, we will unleash hell." The determination in her voice was absolute. The Moon faction would not only recover its shipment, but would send a clear and brutal message to all who dared to defy them. The game has changed, and Seraphina is ready to play.